Christmas time, as you can probably tell from my Christmas attire, and since it is the holiday season, I feel that I have to address something. That being that has plagued our nation and, quite frankly, the entire world for far too long. That being the fact that there are just way too many movies and TV shows that parody It's a Wonderful Life. Now, for those of you unaware, It's a Wonderful Life is the Christmas classic that was released in January for some reason about this guy who thinks about unaliving himself. And so an angel shows us, the audience, what his life was leading up to this point, and the entire third act is that angel convincing Jimmy Stewart that what the entire world would be like if he didn't existed. And everybody in his life is horrible because he's not in their lives. Except for his wife, oddly enough, because the worst thing that happened to her that she got a job and wasn't married because women having lives outside of a man? 1946. Eventually, Jimmy Stewart finds the will to live, and he has a merry old Christmas. And yeah, it's a Christmas classic. The movie doesn't have a whole lot to do with Christmas itself. It only really takes place at Christmas for half the movie, yet it's a Christmas classic. And Die Hard's not. You figure it out. And so, naturally, with a film as popular as It's a Wonderful Life, there are naturally going to be a bunch of homages and parodies of it. To be honest, the very first instance I ever saw of somebody trying to satirize It's a Wonderful Life, and in fact, my introduction to the concept in general was the Fairly Odd Parents episode, It's a Wishful Life, where Timmy, being a kid with fairy godparents, wishes that he was never born, only to find out that literally everybody, including his own parents and godparents, are better off because he was never born, which is really sad because the main character of this children's show is the reason why all of these characters suck. The reason why all their lives suck. If the main character didn't exist, literally everyone would be better off. That's kind of fucked up when you think about it. But this video isn't about that episode. I originally wanted to make this big video just about It's a Wonderful Life cartoons in general. Like, just gonna sit here and review like 3 episodes of popular shows that, in one way or another, satirize It's a Wonderful Life. Like, I was gonna talk about the Simpsons episode, and I was gonna talk about the Arrow episode as well. But then, the third one I picked just so happened to be an episode of The 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. And this episode was so crazy, so absolutely batshit bonkers that I knew this had to be the entire video. And so, today, we're not just going to talk about multiple It's a Wonderful Life parodies. We are just going to talk about just one, that being the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo episode, It's a Wonderful Scoob. So, for those of you that are just completely unaware on what exactly I am talking about when I speak of Scooby-Doo, let me go ahead and introduce you to the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. Now, basically, this show was about Scooby and the gang finding this mysterious chest that features just a whole bunch of ghosts in it. 13 to be exact. And this chest is in the property of one Vincent Van Gogh, who is designed and named after Vincent Price, and miraculously, they got him to voice the character. Crazy, am I right? And so, Scooby accidentally opens the chest and lets loose all of the ghosts. And this was in the 80s, so Shaggy was in his red shirt era. And now Scooby, Shaggy, Daphne, Scrappy, and this random kid named Flim Flam all have to hunt down all 13 ghosts, while also trying to avoid these little sperm ghosts whose names I forgot. So that's the basic rundown of the 13 Ghosts of Scooby Doo. There are exactly 13 episodes. You deal with one ghost per episode. There was a sequel movie released decades later. You get the idea. And so basically, in the ninth episode of the show, they decided to make an It's a Wonderful Life episode called It's a Wonderful Scoob. And oh my god, the stuff that they imply with the Scooby-Doo world in this episode, it is insane. And, I'm not even gonna touch the fact that the whole real ghosts thing, like, this has been a thing in Scooby-Doo for a while. People act like Zombie Island was, like, the first time they had, like, real monsters. It wasn't. I believe that, like, this show might have been the first instance of, oh, the monsters are real, because these are unapologetically ghosts. Like, the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo was like the first Scooby-Doo project, and really one of the only ones out there that like really completely deviates from the formula, because it really doesn't feature the traditional Scooby-Doo method of making an episode. Like, half the gang aren't even in the show, so it's quite crazy. So basically, It's a Wonderful Scoob is about this guy, this freaking, this ghost right over here. This ghost. I forget his name, but it's like the Time Lord or something like that. It's like, fuck, what does the wiki say? What does the wiki say his name is? Time Slime. That's his name. So Time Slime wants to steal the chest so that he can unleash even more ghosts, and so he can control all of reality. However, they don't want that to happen. The Scooby Gang, on the other hand, they don't want this to happen whatsoever. And so they try to stop Time Slime. However, the situation was too much for Scooby. And so he was like, you know what? I'm going to quit the Mystery Gang. I am not going to solve any more mysteries. I'm not going to hunt any more ghosts. And the gang is like, what the hell, man? What the hell? Like, everybody here is freaking out. Vincent Van Gogh isn't like that. And so the Flim Flam gets the idea, hey, I'm going to hold an audition to like, I'm going to hold an audition for a new talking dog that we can just put in the group. And they get like this really fat dog who's like really lazy, but he's funny, so he counts. And this is crazy because like there's a part earlier in the episode. There is a part earlier in the episode where we see Scooby's past. Like, he's transported to the past by Vincent Van Gogh and Time Slime. And we saw Scooby's birth. We saw Scooby-Doo being birthed into existence from his mother and father. And oh my god. Let me see if I can find an image of this. I really should have just added an image of Scooby's parents. Oh my god. It is. By the way, how do you guys like this approach to making a Toon Talk? I really want to know what you felt of this. Like, Scooby's parents. Oh my god, there they are. It's so cursed. Look at him. Look at them. So, like, Scooby just gets straight up scared from all of this and says, I'm out. And he goes home to his mom and dad and just starts living with his parents. And his mom is just straight up naked in this. She's just straight up nude because she wore clothes in the previous scene. She was wearing a nightgown or a dress or something like that. Like, dad's still wearing the tie, but mom's like got her got her little dog tits out and everything. Oh my god, it's so bad. Oh man. So basically, every and like what is even crazier about this is that apparently Scooby-Doo is a TV show in universe because when they hired the new Scooby-Doo, when they hired the new member of Mystery Inc., there's like a broadcast of like an episode of Scooby-Doo with the new dog in it, and it just reacts to kids watching the show, just absolutely hating it. And then Ronald freaking Reagan shows up and declares a message to the American people on how they need Scooby Doo. And at this point, at this point, this was the moment where I decided that this had to be the video. This entire episode had to be the video because my god, you can't make this shit up. Like, I wish I could make up the fact that Scooby Doo's mom was walking around naked, or the fact that Scooby Doo is a TV show in universe, or that the freaking, or that like Ronald Reagan is this. Like, not to mention like Time Slime is like completely removed from the equation almost entirely at this point, and it's like entirely about like trying to find a new Scooby and Scooby leaving the gang. And you're just like, what about the bad guy? We're holding like these auditions when there's like a bad guy trying to take over the world. Just stop the bad guy and worry about Scooby later. But then they Time Slime comes back to the picture and they try to stop him with the new dog. It doesn't work. And then Vincent Van Gogh freezes time, comes to Scooby, and takes Scooby into a world where Time Slime wins, which is finally where the It's a Wonderful Life aspect of this episode comes into play. Yeah, the episode's called It's a Wonderful Scoob. It was on the list of episodes that are specifically It's a Wonderful Life parodies. And we are just now getting to the It's a Wonderful Life spoof, which I guess is appropriate because the thing that the movie is most famous for, the whole I wish I was never born aspect, doesn't come into play until the final third. Like, that is really the climax of the film, is everything that has been leading up to that, and it's Jimmy Stewart realizing what life would be like if he never existed, showing how much value a human life has, no matter how small you may think it is. It's but here it's like you made a really stupid decision. Here's what will happen. Here's what's going to happen if you don't fix this right now. So, in a way, it's kind of more like a Christmas Carol. Like specifically like the ending of a Christmas Carol where like Ebenezer Scrooge is trying to is seeing the future of what might come if he doesn't change his ways. Like even in a way, this episode is kind of framed more like a Christmas Carol. I just realized that because we got to see a bit of Scooby's past. We saw how his actions are affecting the present, and we're seeing how the future is going to be if he continues to be like this. So really, this should have been like a Christmas Carol episode instead of It's a Wonderful Life. So they called it It's a Wonderful Scoob for no reason, just to confuse us. Why would you do that? But anyways, the alternate future consists of Flim Flam and Scrappy being servants for Time Slime, who has taken over the entire world. And Daphne is a straight up slave, and you can tell it's a bad future because she's old and fat. And Shaggy is the only person on Earth who isn't a member of Time Slime's army, who's like against publicly against Time Slime. And because he kept insisting that Scooby was going to come back, he becomes absolutely insane and doesn't even recognize that Scooby is right in front of him. And so after Scooby sees this horrible future, Vincent Van Gogh takes Scooby back to right before the gang were about to die. Scooby saves them in the nick of time, and Time Slime is sent back into the chest where he can never harm again. Honestly, guys, I think you can understand why I decided to just make this the episode, because this has so much content. This is so much stupid, fun, silly little content. It is absolutely ridiculous. Just just how bonkers this episode really is. Because me talking to you guys about it, me reviewing this episode and telling you all the weird stuff does not do this justice whatsoever. If you guys can, I highly recommend you seek this episode out. The whole show is streaming on Max. You can get the DVD of it pretty easily on Amazon. Go watch this episode. I don't even know if it's good or bad. It is just absolutely insane. And I think if you like Scooby-Doo or not, it don't matter. You're gonna think this is a trip. But anyway, guys, sorry that this episode had like nothing to do with Christmas whatsoever. Could you blame me for talking about this one? Not only is this absolutely insane, but it is like it's called It's a Wonderful Scoob, and it was released in November, which, if you're going to release something holiday related, you either release it during the month of the holiday or the month before the holiday. That's just how things work. But anyway, guys, what do you guys think of this video, and what do you guys think of the 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo episode It's a Wonderful Scoob? Please let me know it down in the comments below. And let me know if you guys want to see more individual episode reviews in the future. These are kind of like those little vlogs that I do sometimes with animated shows. And if you guys want to see more of these, kind of like low off the cuff of like individual episodes, kind of like the movie vlogs in a way, then just let me know. And also, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified on when future videos are uploaded. But until then, I will see you later. Bye.